Hi, Zhassulan. So let's take a look at this essay today, shall we? Okay. Schools, entertaining or merely educational? Let's see what you said. Nowadays, society divided into two groups. Ones believe in benefits of education system which compounded with entertainments, and others think that it's supposed to include only educational methods. I totally agree with the idea that children gain knowledge more effectively from entertaining types of lessons in the schools. This essay will explain pedagogical and motivational reasons to support this opinion. Okay, fine. The first sentence had a lot of problems, okay? Speaking in terms of grammar. So let's see if we can fix it. Nowadays, comma, society has divided into two groups. One group which believes in the benefits of an education system. Which is compounded with entertainment, and another which thinks that it should include only education method or only educational methods. That's one way to make this sentence correct, but you can see the whole sentence has lots of errors in it. The other sentences in your introduction are fine. The structure of the introduction is fine, so no problems. But the first sentence was problematic. Let's move on to your body paragraphs. So, okay. Firstly, today, careful here, it is more common when schools of all levels, from elementary to high, what word is that? Tent? I'm not really sure what that means. From elementary to high something, to use. You don't want to here. It is more common. This is what okay, let me tell you how I would have said this. Nowadays, it is more common for schools of all levels, comma, from elementary to high school, comma, to use entertainment in classes. This is because this kind of methodology usually helps to explain to school students crucial materials in an easier way. Interactive boards, for example, teach preschool and kindergarten students the alphabet and numbers, and how to pronounce and write certain letters, plural, or numbers. Indeed, if children participate in lectures as team members instead of just being listeners, it will positively influence students' performance. No on here. Okay, interactive. Fine. Secondly, when children, we never use kids in an IELTS essay, it's always children. Secondly, when children acknowledge schools not only as boring education centers but also as entertaining and studying hubs, they could be motivated to study. This is due to the fact that not all students could seriously realize the importance of hard learning in school. I'm trying to read this again. Let me see if I understood this. Okay. This is due to the fact that okay, fine. Take, for example, a recent study from the University of California that indicated that elementary school students almost always associate lessons which they prefer to study with watching video lessons and playing team games. Therefore, entertainment, singular, could be beneficial for teachers to motivate learners to take an interest in their subjects. All right, this is not the most strongly developed paragraph I've ever read. As you could see, I had to pause, I had to reread it, I had to reread it a third time. So I was trying to understand, what are you really saying? That's why I had to read it and reread it. So you're telling me that when school is an enjoyable place, kids are motivated to study. Okay. And that's because kids don't realize the importance of hard study. And then your example says that school students associate lessons they prefer to study with video games. So this all means that video games and entertainment methods in general could be beneficial for the students. So what I'm getting here really is that there's not a very strong link between the sentences. You know what? Okay, ideally, a paragraph is supposed to go from point A to B to C to D to E. Do you know how I feel this essay went? I felt it went from A to D, and then to B, and then to F, and then back to C. So I don't really see how these sentences are joined to each other in a really cohesive and coherent way. So that's where the problem lies, in the coherence and cohesion section of the criteria. Let's look at your conclusion. To conclude, comma, from reasons and examples given, I firmly agree that the more pleasurable methods are using to teach students, the more pleasurable methods used to teach students, the more successful graduates they would have in the schools. In the future, comma, the percentage of schools that use, I don't know what this is, new types of enjoyment in the classes will only increase because of technology. Okay, that's fine. I think I was pretty clear about what the errors in this essay were. There were quite a few in terms of basically coherence and cohesion. There were some grammatical errors though as well, so keep those in mind. And let's look at your second essay, which is suddenly very small. So let's make it bigger. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Enjoyable activity versus reading. Let's see what you said. It is believed that entertainment, now by the way, entertainment is always singular. I'm not going to correct it again. It's uncountable. So it takes no S, okay? That's the last I'm going to say. I'm not going to correct it if you make a mistake again. It is believed that entertainment is more helpful to develop child's competences and creativity rather than reading. I agree with this concept in terms of parents participating in the process of their children's development. In this essay, social and mental aspects of this idea will be explained. Okay, so you have to change the whole sentence around. Firstly, when children are involved in activities which are pleasurable to do, they almost always try to share their own ideas regarding these enterprises. This is because children feel themselves as team members so they can interact with their parents as adults and get communication skills. For example, in the game Monopoly, children can socialize as business leaders through solving economic and strategic issues. Consequently, such activities allow youngsters to mature emotionally and gain self-confidence. Okay. I'm going to read it one more time, okay? Because again, you know what's happening here? This is why I want to read it again. I want to see how these sentences are linked to each other. I'm getting the sense that they are not totally linked. Again, it's a problem of going from A to C to F and then back to B and then this kind of thing. So let me read it again. They try to share their ideas. This is because they feel like team members. They can interact with their parents and get communication skills. They play Monopoly. They can socialize. So they allow kids to mature emotionally and gain self-confidence. Okay, here's the thing. Yes, I definitely feel like you skipped some ideas, that they weren't totally linked. Because you know what's happening. Essentially, this sentence and this last sentence in this paragraph are supposed to be linked together. Okay, that's the whole point in the template. You're supposed to essentially link back your conclusion to the paragraph to the topic sentence, which is the first one in the paragraph. If you look at them closely, they don't match. So you're saying that if they're involved in something they like, they try to share their ideas. And here you're telling me that these activities allow them to mature emotionally and gain self-confidence. So those two sentences are not related. They basically communicate two very different ideas. So I don't feel like they link back to each other. Okay? And then you say here that they feel like they're team members, and because they're team members, they can interact with their parents. And then here your example was something totally different. You needed to link it back to gaining communication skills. So here what you should have said was, for example, in the game Monopoly, children have to negotiate and discuss deals with others, which are important skills to learn as they mature. Okay, so something about linking this back to somehow this, okay? So the solving economic issues, strategic issues with gaining communication skills. You have to link them better together, okay? Um, and then again, like this sentence doesn't feel like they're all connected. So you've got very different ideas because in my mind, sharing your ideas and gaining communication skills because you're a team member and solving problems through economic and strategic issues and maturing emotionally, they're not all linked unless you show how they're linked. And that's what's missing here. The glue that really links all these together. So there's something missing here, and I need you to work on connecting these ideas better together. All right, we spent quite a bit of time on that paragraph, so let's move on. Secondly, there is no doubt that reading books might be important to fill the curiosity of children and crucial for brain benefit. Well, I can't speak, sorry. Crucial for brain development. However, being able to solve real issues through model games or watching scientific documentaries is certainly beneficial to drive mental capacity of children, the mental capacity. This is due to the fact that children gain knowledge. What? Knowledge entertainments? I don't know why entertainment is here. Children gain knowledge much better. Oh, wait. Gain knowledge through entertainment much better rather than through boring activities. According to recent research is never plural ever, it's uncountable. School students who spend more time on fun, but at the same time meaningful exercises, broaden their horizons drastically. Indeed, this kind of activity, singular activity, almost always refreshes, children's mind from routine learning. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Now, playing model games and watching scientific documentaries are two totally separate kinds of activities. So I don't understand why you lump them together. Okay? And here, it's like you were talking far more about these model games rather than scientific documentaries. So all of this really confused me. You should have just left it out. It had no purpose here. If we take it out and we look at this thing about model games, they gain knowledge through entertainment. All right, it's all a little theoretical. I would have liked your examples to be a little more tangible, a little more specific, essentially is what I mean. Moving on. In conclusion, for the reasons mentioned above, I personally believe that parents or guardians should spend time with their offspring by interacting in enjoyable activities to develop not only social but also mental skills of the children. In the future, they will become, no, will they, in the future, they will become successful people only if these activities contain, no R, educational content. Okay, I need you to work on the grammar a little bit. There are some mistakes. They are distracting, so go ahead and work on them. Overall, it's a nice first attempt. You're doing well, so keep it up. What you need to do now is correct these essays based on this video correction, and then send back the corrected files to us. The second thing you need to do is you need to start an error correction list where you write down what the mistake was and how you should fix it according to this video once again. The third thing you should do is write us another set of essays applying all the things you've been learning, okay? So go ahead and do that. I'll be here, I'll be waiting, and I look forward to it. So good luck on your next essays.